The War on Poverty After 40 Years, a Minskyan Assessment by Stephanie Bell and L. Randall Ray. Preface. 20 to 25 years ago, a debate was underway in academe and in the popular press over the war on poverty. One group of scholars argued that the war, initiated by Presidents Kennedy and Johnson, had been lost, owing to the inherent ineffectiveness of government welfare programs. Charles Murray and other scholars argued that welfare programs only encouraged shiftlessness and burdened federal and state budgets. In recent years, despite the fact that the extent of poverty has not significantly diminished since the early 1970s, the debate over poverty has seemingly ended. In a country in which middle-class citizens struggle to afford health insurance and other necessities, the problems of the worst-off Americans seem to many remote and less than pressing. Moreover, the Welfare Reform Bill of 1996 has deflected much of the criticism of the welfare state by ending the individual level entitlement to aid to families with dependent children benefits, now known as temporary assistance to needy families, and putting time limits on welfare recipiency, among other measures. The debate on the war on poverty was in part misguided from the beginning. Though federal entitlement spending grew rapidly from the mid-1960s through the 1970s, this welfare state expansion was unrelated to the programs that made up the original war on poverty. Spending growth during this period resulted from, among other factors, court rulings that strengthened the rights of welfare recipients and from an increase in Social Security spending. The original war on poverty programs, such as the Job Corps and Head Start, were aimed largely at training and disciplining the workforce, not at providing welfare benefits for the non-working population. The other important poverty policy initiatives of the Kennedy-Johnson era consisted mainly of tax cuts for businesses. Hence the claim that the programs in question undermine the incentive to work is misplaced. In this brief, Stephanie A. Bell and L. Randall Ray argued that the real flaw in the war on poverty was that it lacked job creation initiatives of the type developed by President Roosevelt during the Great Depression. Bell and Ray show that people with jobs are much more likely to stay out of poverty than those without, and programs that simply attempt to increase workers' skills have not succeeded in creating jobs. Programs to boost private spending, such as tax cuts for corporations, may generate new jobs, but they are far less efficient at the job creation task than are programs of direct government hiring. They do not focus help where it is needed on those who are least employable and most subject to discrimination. Following the late Hyman Minsky, Bell and Ray argue for an employer of last resort program, which would take workers as they are, that is, provide jobs that use workers' existing skills. This plan would alleviate many social ills that thrive in an environment in which huge numbers of able-bodied individuals are idle. In proposing massive government jobs programs, Bell and Ray take a step beyond current popular stimulus programs, which at best resemble the only modestly effective tax cuts of the 1960s. The Bell-Ray proposal challenges those who propose such tax cuts or various measures of tough love because it offers help in the form of a paycheck rather than the much maligned welfare giveaways. Minsky rightly supported welfare programs, but only for those who cannot or should not work. I hope that the policies proposed in this brief will finally allow discussions of poverty in the United States to advance beyond ideas that have dominated policymakers' attention since the war on poverty. As always, I welcome your comments. Dimitri Papadimitriou, President, June 2004.